Okay, continue to part C, preparation of income and expenditure account. That income and expenditure account compares the revenue of the club with the expenses of the running the club. So basically, imagine that you have a trading, imagine that you are preparing income statement for services company, yeah? So you must list of all revenues minus with all expenses incurred. Then you will have the profit or loss, okay? Now, if revenue are more than expenses, usually we call it as profit, but income and expenditure is but clubs and society is non-for-profit organization, so we cannot call it as profit. Yeah, we cannot. Okay, we must call it as surplus. Surplus means an excess of income over expenditure. Okay, once again, it is not allowed to write as profit. If revenue are less than the expenses, we're not calling it as a loss, but we call it as deficit. Deficit means it's an excess of expenditure over income. Yeah. Once again, you are not allowed to write it down as a loss. Yeah. Next, it is important to remember that if there is an adjustment for accrued and prepaid, you have to apply it. Yeah. The adjustment must be made for accruals and prepayment if you are doing income and expenditure. Capital receipts and capital expenditure are not included because it is not a daily activities, yeah? Because they are not daily activities. But only revenue, receipts, and revenue expenditure that are included because they are daily activities. Yeah. Now, assets and liabilities at the beginning and end of the financial year also not included because assets and liabilities are usually for statement of financial position. Yeah. If the clubs or society holds a fundraising activity, the income and the expenses of that activity should be set off against each other to calculate the profit or loss in the income and expenditure account. Now I want you to look on this part especially, yeah. So imagine that you have a club. In this illustration again, yeah. You have a club, this is the main, this is the shop, and you are basically trying to make activities, okay? A lot of activities, yeah? So this representing activities. Why does we usually do activities? Because to raise fund. For example, stucco, yeah, or prefect. For example, prefect. Prefect is a non-for-profit organization, yeah, and prefect needs money. How would they raise money? They will create an activity where students has to pay. For example, prefect are organizing a sports competition, yeah, between schools, yeah. Can it be done? Yes, it can. So by doing that activities, the prefect itself can raise funds, yeah. Now that's what we call as fundraising activities. If you have fundraising activities, they must present it together, because when you are making an activities or organizing an activities, you will have two items, income and expenses. You will have income from the tickets, and you will have expenses to buy equipment, cost of anything, yeah, including maybe the coach that you have to pay as referee, yeah. Now that income and expenses must be paired together, cannot be separated, yeah. So that's what that means by the sentence. If the clubs or society holds a fundraising activity, the income and the expenses must be set off against each other. Okay, so it has to paired. Yeah, I will show you in the example after this. Yeah. Next one. Preparation of statement of financial position of a club and societies. The principles applied when preparing a statement of financial position of a club or societies are similar to those applied in the preparations of SOFP in a business. Yeah, it will show, sorry, it will, excuse me, it will show non-current assets, current assets, non-current liabilities, and current liabilities as well. Same, yeah? But the main difference in the SOFP is there is no capital. Okay, no capital in SOFP. Members of a club or society do not invest money. That's the reason, yeah, why there is no proprietor in the business. Okay, so there will be no drawings entitled to the members as well. All the surplus that you get from the income and expenditure here, yeah, will be accumulated, yeah, will be accumulated within the organization to form a capital fund that is known as accumulated fund. Okay, so that is why if the clubs makes a deficit, then the accumulated fund will be decreased. Now, accumulated funds itself replaces capital in the statement of financial position. That's the only main difference from the regular statement of financial positions that you know, yeah? Now let's continue to the example. The Apollo Athletics Club was formed some years ago to provide various sporting facilities for its members. The club also has a shop where members can purchase sportswear. Yeah, this is the continuation of the questions before. The club has a shop. Yeah. On 1st of August 2017, the following balances appeared in the books of the club. You have premises, equipment, provision for depreciation, bank, shop inventory, and accumulated fund. 1 August means all of these are balance BD. Yeah. And then the following receipts and payment was prepared for the year ended 31 July 2017. We have done this before yesterday. Yeah, I have explained the receipts and payments account, how you would do that. And then based on receipts and payment, you have a balance at the end of accounting period for 1932. Okay. And the treasurer also provided the following informations on 31 July, which means at the end of accounting period. You have inventory at the end, prepaid at the end for insurance, and then wages of athletic coach outstanding, which is accrued expense. And 15 members still owe their annual subscription of 20 each for current financial year. 15 members still owed. So you have a trade receivables basically, yeah? And 8 members have paid their annual subscriptions 20 each for the following financial year. So basically you have a prepaid in terms of trade receivables, yeah? There is also information about sport equipment to be depreciated by $1715. And number 2 is already been calculated before in yesterday's example, yeah? That the profit of the club's shop for the year ended 31 July 2018 was 600. So you have the profit of the shop, 600. Now let's continue to prepare income and expenditure account. So this is how the income and expenditure account will shown. Okay, so how are you going to do that? You just have to list all the income over here, list all the incomes, and list all the expenditures here. Yeah, and now this one is the fundraising activities. You remember when I said if the clubs have a fundraising activities, it has to be paired together. Yeah, so this is the example. First of all, the income is subscription. Yeah, the main income is subscriptions. And then don't forget to add the profit on the shop. Profit on shop, the one that you calculated before, yeah, when you are preparing income statement of the shop. The profit is 600, put it there. And then combine or pairing the competition. Competition is the fundraising activities, so you have to pair them. Entrance fees is money in, yeah, money in for 1,100, and then money out for cost of prizes is 660. The net income or profit is 440 for the competition. Yeah. What if your fundraising activities has a loss? If it has a loss, then you will present that under the expenditure column. Yeah. So next, once you put the profit and competition, let's see on the subscription here. Okay. I want you to recall back our chapters on other receivables and other payables or accrued and prepaid. Yeah. Remember, if you have an accrued at the end, you have to add it. You have to add if it is an accrued, yeah, at the end, and then prepaid prepaid at the end must be deducted. Yeah. In the example here, 15 members still owe for current financial year. Owe means accrued. Accrued at the end has to be added. That is why you see 300 here. Why it is 300? Because it is from 15 times 20. 15 members times with 20. Yeah, so it is equal to 300. Eight members have paid their annual subscriptions. So 8 times 20 is equal to 40. Yeah. So this $40 is a prepaid at the beginning. Sorry, prepaid at the end. Yeah. Sorry. Prepaid at the end because it is 31 July. So prepaid at the end has to be deducted. So that's the reason why 5,860 plus 300 and minus 160. And where does you get this 5,860? You will get it from receipts and payment. Yeah, that's basically subscriptions that is received from the year over here. Yeah, you see it here. Okay, so the total income would be 7,040 and expenditure would be wages, rates, general expense, and depreciation. From the wages here, plus 400 because there is an outstanding amount accrued at the end. Again, accrued at the end must be added. So it is plus 400. And there is a prepaid at the end as well for insurance. That is why you have to deduct it. Yeah. And then total income is 7040. Total expenses is 6247. And then it is positive, so it is a surplus. Yeah. Any questions so far? Okay, next, yeah. Preparation of statement of financial position. Statement of financial position is still the same. You will start with non-current assets, then you will list the premises and equipment and all other non-current assets, if any, and then put cost, accumulated depreciation, and NBV. And you know how to do that as well, yeah? Put the cost here, put the accumulated total depreciation, and then cost minus total depreciation or accumulated is equal to net book value. Once you have the total of non-current assets here, list of all current assets. Remember to start with inventory if you have the shop. If you don't have the shop, then you can continue to subscriptions accrued, if any. Subscriptions accrued is prepaid income, yeah? Accrued income, yeah? Accrued income is an asset. It's other receivables. Go back again to chapter other receivables and other payables if you forgot, okay? And then plus with other receivables. Other receivables here is the prepaid expense from the insurance here. Yeah. And then bank. And then you put the bank amount here is the one that you get from the receipts and payments, balance CD or balance BD in the new accounting period. Yeah. Once you finish listing all the current assets, then calculate the total assets. After that, continued with, usually you have capital, but remember, clubs and society is changed to accumulated fund. The accumulated fund here will started with opening balance, which is 30,960, where you can find it in the very beginning of the questions here. Yeah. If you don't given with that, then you can calculate it like incomplete records before, yeah, assets minus liabilities, yeah. Then place it here and then took the surplus that you get from income and expenditure here, 793, place it there because it is a surplus, so it is adding the accumulated fund. Next is current liabilities. Because you don't have non-current liabilities, you can ignore that. Current liabilities, you have other payables and subscription prepaid. At the end, the total accumulated fund and liabilities is 32,313, which is equal with the total assets. Yeah. Note that subscriptions owing or accrued can also be included under other receivables, and subscription prepaid can also include it under other payables. What does it mean? It means you can place this subscription accrued inside other receivables. Yeah, it is allowed. Okay, or the prepaid subscriptions here is included in other payables. So you only have one list. Is it allowed? Yes, it is allowed. Yeah, that's what the note means. Yeah. Any question? Is it boring enough? Okay. If you have no question, then I continue, yeah, to subscription account. Only 2 more pages and then we're done, yeah, finishing the chapter. Okay, subscriptions account now. We have the main income of subscription for the clubs. And the main income subscription will sometimes have an accrued balance at the beginning or prepaid balance at the beginning, or maybe a prepaid or accrued at the end. Yeah, it's possible. And sometimes you probably have a subscription written off. The subscription written off is also called as bad debts. Yeah, here. Now, this subscriptions account is actually, you have learned this before, this is basically an income account. Because subscription is the main income, so you are actually drawing a subscription account as income account. Yeah, if you remember income account, balance BD is on, for accrued beginning is on debit, and balance BD for prepaid beginning is on credit. Okay, and bank that is received during the year will be on the credit side. Yeah, look back again on the income account on chapter 11 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, go back to chapter 11 if you forgot. And then if you have bad debts, place that bad debts in credit side. This is the new one for you. Yeah, place it in the credit side. If you remember as LCA, in the SLCA, bad debts is in the credit side, then you remember that. Yeah, bad debts is on the credit side. And then next, place accrued N at the credit and prepaid N in the debit. And then the one that you need to calculate is this one, subscriptions for income and expenditure. Yeah, that is the one that is usually questions when you are preparing subscription account, because you are required to calculate subscriptions to be entered in the income and expenditure so that you can prepare income and expenditure account. Okay, if you are not required to do subscription account, but you are required to calculate only, you can use this calculation as usual. Yeah, a simple calculation by adding everything on the credit side, deducting with accrued beginning and prepaid at the end, okay? So that you will have amount that is transferred to the income statement. Okay? Are you still with me, by the way? Okay, bear with me, yeah? It's almost finished. Bear with me. Please be patient. Now, subscriptions written off or bad debts, yeah? What is that? A club may have a policy that subscriptions which remain unpaid, yeah, subscriptions which remain unpaid for a certain period of time are to be written off. The accounting treatment for subscription written off is to be entered as expenditure. Yeah, it will be treated as expenditure in the income and expenditure account. Yeah, because bad debts is a loss for the business. So that is why when you have a subscriptions that is written off or bad debts, you will treat that as an expense in the income and expenditure account. Yeah. So that's about bad debts. Now let's see the example. Still in Apollo Athletic Clubs. Yeah. Apollo Athletic Clubs was formed some years ago to provide various sporting facilities for its member. On 1st of August 2017, there were 40 subscriptions owing by members. Yeah. When they gave you the date of one of every month, it will always show you the beginning. Owing at the beginning, you have $40 owing at the beginning or accrued beginning. And 3 members had paid their subscription in advance. 3 members had paid in advance. Annual subscription is 20 each member. So 3 members times 20 is now 60. Yeah. What is that? In advance indicates that it is prepaid. Yeah. It also beginning. Okay, because it said on 1 August. Now let's continue. During the year ended 31 July, the club received subscription totaling 5,860. Received means representing bank. Okay, subscriptions received is representing bank in this part. Okay, this included subscriptions of 20 from each from 8 members for the following financial year. 20 from 8 members for the following financial year means you have prepaid at the end. Okay. On 31 July, subscriptions of 20 each for the current financial year were still outstanding. Current, and it said still outstanding from 15 members. So you have an accrued at the end. With the amount of $20 times with 15, another 300. Okay. During the year ended 31 July, the club received subscriptions from members totaling 6,020. On 31 July 2019, there were subscriptions outstanding of 120 and subscriptions written off is 20. We have a bad debts. Yeah. Okay. Now, it said here also that you have received subscriptions. So this is also representing bank. Yeah. Let's continue. Prepare the subscriptions accounts in the books of Apollo for the 2 years ended 31 July 2018 and 2019. So you are dealing with 2 years. Okay. And the accounting period for 2 years is starting on 1 August 2017 to 31 July 2018, and then 1 August 2018 to 31 July 2019. Yeah. Now you need to separate all the information here depends on the accounting period. Yeah. Now, looking at that, let's continue to do subscriptions account. We start with 2017 and 2018 first. I'm going to block 2017 first. Yeah. So we have these information. Oops. This one until this one. So that's your first year. And this one to this one, that's for the second year. Yeah. Let's see. August 2017, 40 accrued beginning. Accrued beginning in the subscriptions account is in debit side, so you put it in the debit side. And then you also have prepaid beginning 60, then you put it in the credit side 60. Yeah. And then bank receive is 5,860, then you put it in the credit side. Yeah. And then included in the subscriptions, 20 each from 8 members. 20 times 8 is 160. Yeah, at the end. It said for the following year. Following year means next year. So you have prepaid N for 160. Then you place it here. It comes from 20 times 8. Yeah. From here. And then 31 July, you also have subscriptions 20 from 15 members. That's still outstanding, which is you have accrued at the end 300, then you place it here 300. Okay. Once you do that, this is the one that is missing. This is the one that is missing. So once you placed everything in their places, so you're able to finally calculate income and expenditure amount. Yeah. So far, any question? Next. Once you finish 2017 to 2018 July 31st, carried down to the next accounting period, accrued N now become accrued beginning, it goes to debit, and accrued and prepaid N goes to the credit side as prepaid beginning. The rest are the same. Let's see another informations that we receive subscription from members totaling 6,020. So that is the one that you received here. Yeah, 620. Okay, received from the bank. Yeah, and then you also have a subscription written off, 20 bad debts. Written off is on the credit side. So you put that in the credit side like so. Yeah. And then it also said that we have, where is it? Okay. So we continue, if you have an income and expenditure account of 6,020, and then it said you have an outstanding $120 at the end of accounting period, you have another accrued at the end. Accrued at the end is 120, then you put 120 as accrued at the end, but you don't have informations on prepaid at the end. So what should you do? Just leave it. You don't have to try to find something that is not exist. Yeah. So you don't bother if there is no prepaid at the end. Next, the one that is missing is income and expenditure. So income and expenditure is the missing figure here, and then you can find it by placing everything in their places. Yeah, and then don't forget to carry it down to the next accounting period. Okay, and that's it for subscription account. I believe you're already familiar with this when we are studying accrued and prepaid. Yeah. Do you have any question? Jen, Alexandra, Alexa, Rice, Sally, no question? Okay, good. Who's that? Now, last two parts, yeah? Calculate purchase sales, if any, at shops, bar, cafe, or the clubs. Sometimes information about credit purchases and credit sales over here, if there is goods sold on credit of a club, are often incomplete. You have learned about incomplete records before, yeah? So it is necessary to calculate the credit purchases also. And sometimes credit sales if it is questioned, yeah? Before you are preparing the income statement. So how are you going to do that? Remember, for credit purchases, missing information, go back to the incomplete records part where you are trying to find credit purchases. How to calculate credit purchases is by adding payment of credit supplier with closing balance of TP or balance CD, yeah, and then minus with balance BD. As simple as that. Okay, if you go back to the incomplete records, we have a lot of informations other than these three. We also have discount received, we also have purchases return, yeah, but in incomplete records, but in clubs and society, we're not going to do that far, yeah. Only as simple as calculating credit purchases from the main items, which is paying a payment of credit supplier, a balance CD, and balance BD. Yeah. Same goes to credit sales. How to find credit sales if you don't have information on credit sales, but you need it when you do it, when you do income statement or income statement for the shop, is by adding payment received from customers with balance CD and then minus with balance BD. Yeah, I only took the main part, but this is basically the same with incomplete records before. Yeah, so that's how you do you calculate purchase and sales if there is a missing information. Now continue to accumulated fund. Sometimes information about opening balance of accumulated fund is also missing. Yeah, it is necessary to calculate the opening balance by using accounting equation. Remember before incomplete records, if you have a missing capital, you will calculate that using accounting equation. Yeah. Now, since we are in the clubs and societies, so it is now asset equals to liabilities, but not plus with capital, but plus with accumulated fund. Yeah. How to find accumulated fund is by deducting asset with liabilities. Yep. And that's it. That's the end of this chapter. Do you have any question?